Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Roseann, and we're going to dive into why are so many kids today struggling with things like ADD, anxiety, social anxiety, OCD, PANS, PANDAS, Lyme, learning disabilities, autism, a long list of things, suicidal ideation. Why are kids struggling, and what do you, as a parent or somebody who loves a kid, a caregiver, teacher, what do you need to do about it? This is my life's mission, is about solutions for, struggling kids, and how can we help our kids really hone in on their strengths, really find out who they are, and be better human beings. As we really dive into all these reasons why all these kids are struggling, and I always like to talk about hope and belief, and we're going to dive into that in a future podcast in a couple episodes from now. We really have to understand what is happening to our nervous system. What are all these things that are creating this perfect storm where we have this dramatic rise in all of these clinical conditions in kids? And it doesn't really matter what clinical issue your kid has. It's about one thing. It's about the dysregulation of the nervous system, okay? And so you may be like, okay, Roseann, what are you talking about? Well, we think every mental health condition is because of genetics. We think because of great marketing from pharma, we think it's about dysregulation of neurotransmitters, but really it's about dysregulation of the autonomic nervous system. So I love to talk about the nervous system because everything I do is all about, what happens in the brain and body. We have to use neuroscience. We have to look at research to understand what's going to help our kids really way more efficiently. And the great news is that all of these solutions for struggling kids that are really effective are natural and safe. I talk all about them in my book, It's Going to Be Okay. And I dive into really all the ways that you can reduce and reverse mental health issues and give you lots of tools and that are accessible, digestible, and I hope that you have this as a resource. But when we have a stress-activated nervous system, right? And let's talk about the autonomic nervous system. So the autonomic nervous system is what manages our stress. And everybody has stress, from the annoying person who won't get out of my way in the passing lane to I just called the veterinarian's office 10 minutes late and I need to reschedule an appointment and nobody's there. So just petty annoyances, but sometimes we have big things, right? My mom's in a nursing home because she had a stroke. And it's stressful. There's no two ways around it. You can't see somebody you love struggle of any age. And so this is really hard stuff as parents. And so when our nervous system, I always use this analogy. So we have the bottom, we have our relaxed state, we have our sympathetic dominant, I like to call it the hot tub state. And then we have our stressed sympathetic dominant state. And so when we have a stressor, here's what happens, okay? Real or imagined, good or bad, this is what stress happens. So our nervous system goes from a good, relaxed, well-oiled, lubed up nervous system goes from low stress, boom, up, maybe not even all the way to the top, stress activated. Here's what's happening, and this is what every single clinical condition, regardless of what's going on with our kids today, they are constantly experiencing a stress activation of the nervous system, okay? And once we are in a stress-activated, right, hyperactivated nervous system, we're revving high, okay? Here's what happens to the brain. No learning can occur, okay? So your attention, gone. Your learning, gone. Taking action, not going to happen, right? So there's only 3 physiological responses that are possible when you are at max capacity: fight, flight, or freeze, okay? So why are we doing things like talk therapy? Why are we yelling at our kids? Why are we repeating things over and over? The key is not to repeatedly do these things, and we'll talk about meds, but we have to, this is what we do. You calm the nervous system down. I say calm the heck down. You come in with new learning. That's what equals change, guys. That's the basis of my work. That is what I do. We'll dive into how I do that work in this podcast. But we're also going to hear about inspirational stories of people who created change for their kids in a variety of ways. Because when your kid is struggling, you've gone down the rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole with people that you think are helping you, right? A lot of medical interventions. Then, you know it's not working. And we have to change what we're doing because, again, no learning can occur with a stress hyperactivated nervous system. So why do we keep repeatedly trying to reach kids through here when their stress is in their body, right? So we have to help our kids reconnect and anchor to their body, understand the sensations they're feeling, even if they're really uncomfortable and icky. We have to help our kids say, okay, when I feel grief, this is where I feel it. It's in my chest. And instead of trying to avoid it, right, which only causes us to activate, when we avoid, we shove down, it's going to show up. When we take a minute, we process, we deal with it, guess what? We put it away, we help, we realize, wait, I have power, I have control, this is our subconscious, this is our deeper brain, and our nervous system starts changing in how they react to stress, okay? And so we have to teach our kids differently, and again, right, we calm down that nervous system, we pair it with new learning, that's when change is. And so, how I do that is we regulate the nervous system with things like biofeedback, neurofeedback, meditation, breath work. In my book, It's Going to Be Okay, I give you a ton of ways to do that. And I really wanted it to be this resource that is available to parents so that, you don't feel so lost, don't feel so alone. If you don't already know this about me, I'm a special needs mom times 2. I'm a mom of a dyslexic who's doing amazing, and I'm a mom of a kid with pandas from chronic Lyme, who is doing awesome, better than he ever has in his 16 years. Thanks to mom and dad doing a lot of hard work, and our extended network, our very, very small extended network, and a lot of prayer and a lot of great interventions. And we have to help our kids regulate their brain and body so that they can face those stressors that they're going to face every day. When we try talk therapy, we try medications, which 70% of medications, psychiatric medications used with kids in the U.S. are off-label, no research to substantiate their efficacy. So we need to really question, which all of you mamas and papas and caregivers are doing, we need to question, where is the research leading us, right? And so, that's what my book's all about, 40 pages of research citations, because I want you to know there are options, there are choices, there are things that you can do at home to really create these changes. This is what solutions are about for struggling kids. Your kid is struggling, it's not going to go away on its own, right? And please know that nobody ever regrets getting help. They only regret when they don't. And there's so many things that parents can do. This podcast is going to be about empowerment, about showing you the way, holding your hand in if you want to have these conversations with me. So I am going to be doing a talk every week like this, and I'll be having a guest every week. And my guests are amazing. I have some pretty amazing friends and human beings in my life, and I want them to be there to show you how change can happen, and so that you keep the hope, you hold the vision, right? So you hold your vision and you adjust for the circumstances. So sending you a lot of love and light. We're going to dive into what are some of these tools that I use in the next podcast, and I hope you are there to join me.